Well, it is Tuesday, a very sad Tuesday, as one of the legends of rock and roll music, Eddie Van Halen, has chosen to go into, well, he didn't choose, has ascended into the, yeah, he's ascended into the heavenly band, where he's right next to Stevie Ray Vaughan and many of the greats. And it's a sad day for all of us. DeQwan, were you a fan of Van Halen at all?
I'm not that well versed in rock.
It's all good. You don't have to be. But Eddie Van Halen was a legend of rock music. Like, it's like if Ozzy Osbourne were to, you know who Ozzy is, right? Everyone knows Ozzy.
Yeah, I know who Van Halen, and I know a few bands. I'm just not. If you throw me a song, I could probably karaoke it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate with the way that the stream works. You can't hear that I'm playing Van Halen behind me, but my green screen is fucked. Oh well.
I could hear a little bit of it, but
yeah. Well, we're getting claimed.
Yeah.
That the 10 cents that we get for playing that song will go to the Van Halen estate, and that's our way of.
Well, the majority of it will probably go to the record company. Maybe 2 cents goes to the Van Halen estate.
That's right. Yes, they get very little of the royalties from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been having a weird week. I have had crushing panic attacks for the past week. And so I'm going to see the doctor on Thursday. I don't know what's been going on. Like, it's been pretty rough, but I'm hanging in there.
House, I guess, or is it like just something that triggered it?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's me just being concerned for my overall health, and then every little tick that happens to me, I think is me having some type of episode, and then it's bad. So
I've had that happen a decent bit over the past year too, so I completely understand that.
Yeah,
anxiety just controls you, and it's like, oh my god, what's happening?
Yeah, it's bad. It's more me concerned about my own physical health that triggers it. You know, I start overthinking.
And then you try looking it up on Google, and they say, it's like, you're going to fucking die. You have cancer. It's like, you have a tumor. It's like, really? God damn it.
It's not a tumor.
It's not the tumor. Hey, let's introduce
Dr.
our
Google
guest.
told me it was.
Let's introduce our guest, DeQwan Young of Total Pro. I'm just kidding. DeQwan Young.
Oh, wow.
Of a total sports, totally unprofessional sports refugee now. And we're glad that you're on our side for sure. And
man,
I put his channel in the description of the show, but also everyone go to Quality TV here. Let me put it in the chat as well. And we will.
I love all the TPS sucks comments. Makes me feel like I accomplished something.
You did, though. You did.
It's my magnum opus.
I just can't believe that you had to endure that. Like, you must have just not known that. Like, they
No. The thing was, like, I was the one who gave him the most like kickback, because I used to argue with him all the time and say, like, we're doing the same stuff. And then I think whenever I got tagged in that thing with you guys, it's like, yeah, okay, I can't keep like shunning my head from it, like blatantly stealing. And I didn't know how bad it was, like straight up lifting people's content. I knew like we use other people's videos, but I didn't know how bad it is. Bad. And like it's like I got PTSD, not to, you know, put myself in like this war situation, but I look at like top 10 videos, like when I'm trying to curate content, it's like I do not want to do. I'll go out of my way to not do top 10 videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you don't want to be associated with that ugliness.
No.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to find my own like style now, which I created mostly everything that they do over there. So it's like keep everything that's has anything to do with TPS away from me.
What's disturbing is because they know how to abuse the algorithm, they're getting views.
Well,
and
everybody loves countdowns. I mean, everyone looks for countdowns, even if it's objective as hell. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's a countdown!" And then it creates controversy. It's like, why is this number one?
Yeah.
Why is it passing the ball on the 1 yard line, number 3?
Yeah. Oh my god! I get people like asking me about content that they post now, and I'll peek my head in from time to time. Like the well is dry.
I have not seen a TPS thing on my feed for years.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
It's probably still there. I'll probably look it up, and it's like, decent views, but it's just like
it's whatever.
Go ahead.
You did a video last week about, I think it was the stadiums, and I was gonna direct message you like how long until this is stolen, because it's something that's like right up their alley.
Oh no, I stole that from them. Actually, ranking the NFL stadiums. Like, I don't care.
Yeah,
you steal from me. They've stolen at least 6 videos from me, and I was like, you know what? I don't have to be above that. I can steal from them.
Yeah, I think I'm about to turn heel. I'm about to go full heel and just like take everything that I did there and just post it on my channel or something.
That's ballsy right there. But all right, let's not talk about them because they trash. It's just sad that they're whatever. What's even worse though?
Talk about more trash.
Yeah, let's talk about these games. Okay, there was a lot of games last week. We missed one because of the COVID-19, and we're already demonetized. I mean, we played Jump to start the show.
Yeah.
But the Steelers and Titans did not play. They got an unscheduled bye week, which this seems like how it's going to go. If someone gets COVID, they're like, Cam, we didn't care when your head got blown up with other helmets. We don't care that you have COVID. We're fucking playing. Man. We're fucking playing. And then
it's crazy. It's crazy, like how I think dedicated they are to just getting the games off. Because when they came up with that Saints Lions test, like I think it was like midnight the night before, I was like, oh, they're for sure gonna push that one back. Nope, they probably tested that man time and time again.
They just wanted to make sure they had a positive test or like a false positive. It's like, oh, it's a false positive. They're gonna bull rush through this season. If the MLB could bull rush through it and have like a bunch of like massive issues, the NFL's easily gonna bull rush through it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, maybe if like it's like a week 17 game between Jacksonville and maybe the Chargers, they'll probably call it off.
Yeah, if there's no playoff implication, they'll just be like, fuck that shit.
But otherwise, yeah.
All right, so what we do, I think you know what the format, DeQwan, is. We rank every team, all 32 teams, the tiers being Super Bowl contenders. We might have some new Super Bowl contenders, by the way. Division winner, football hell, which is mediocrity because you're not a playoff team and you're not in the draft lottery, or you're not in the running for Trevor Lawrence. Now there's 3 tiers of trash. There's regular trash, which is like Denver. Then there's Giants level trash because the Giants are 0-4, just pure trash. And then the ultimate, which is Jets level trash. So
let's go. I'm ready to rank you guys.
Let's read a couple super chats before these things back up, and we are here till midnight. Let me get 3 in a row out of the way, and then we'll start. Bailey Leisure for $4.99. Song of the Night, Eruption by Van Halen. 2020 just couldn't stop, could it? Rather, you were Roth or Hagar. We all loved Eddie and his music. Yep. Let me look that song up.
Eruption? That's one of the greatest guitar solos of all time.
Okay, hold on. Eruption. Van Halen. Yeah,
I was thinking you were going to start with that or Running with the Devil.
Here's the guitar solo right here. Right. Let's listen to it. Let's give the man his due.
Mm-hmm.
Right, hold on. I'll try to turn it up. Well, you guys can't hear it, unfortunately. They need to have
a little.
Can you hear that?
All right. So
a little bit.
Oh, hold on. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Played a little too loud. I'm watching this video. He's got his cigarette on the neck of the guitar. And it's burning as he's playing this.
I just read a story about him getting his stuff back from Fred Durst.
What's that?
Where he pulled a gun on Fred Durst.
What?
Yeah, and so I don't know if it's real or not. It crossed my timeline. It said Fred Durst had like some of his equipment, and he like pulled up on his front lawn, pulled out a gun, and like made Fred Durst give him his equipment back.
Damn.
I gotta find
He doesn't play around.
Right. For how he butchered Behind Blue Eyes, I'd also do the same thing.
Yeah. All right, that was good. Thank you, Eddie, the legend. The Texas Cowboy 56 happy days in Houston. Bill O'Brien got fired finally. Hope they sign Chiefs OC. That's Eric Bieniemy, sleeping with Bieniemy. And Cowboys lose and now behind Eagles and team with no name. Ha 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 ha. Yeah,
the key with the Texans is they have to get rid of the New England Patriot influence. If not, they're going to go hire Josh McDaniels and Nick Caserio, and they've learned nothing.
Bieniemy is going to be a hot prospect, man, because Detroit's job is coming open.
Yeah, sure. Detroit's going to be open. Atlanta's may be open, although they could go defensive and Robert Saleh.
Oh, that's a dude.
Andy will probably be open, and they'll probably hire Bill O'Brien.
Andy Reid's tree is about to become the Belichick tree. You know that, right?
Well, they go through trends. A couple years ago, it was anyone who was related in any way, shape, or form to Sean McVay.
Right.
It was back to Belichick a year or so before. Now it's going to be Andy Reid.
This guy.
I think they're going to find LaFleur guys. They want to find some LaFleur guys now. Mm-hmm. I think they're going young.
Or Stefanski, some young, dark-haired, good-looking, like 31-year-old analytics guy, and they're just like, yeah, that's who we want. Mm-hmm. That's how we get it done around here. And I'm a random guy for $4.99 tonight. Serving at the dumpster fire is the sushi from a dead dolphin with a side of COVID and Sad's Lions with live entertainment with Jalen and Golden. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey and Golden Tate. Golden Tate seems to bring baggage everywhere he goes, right?
Jalen apparently cheated on his sister or something like that.
Yeah, he had 2 kids by her, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if you're going to be in the NFL, you should not have a sister.
Especially a sister that...
Well, if you're going to mess around, don't be in a relationship.
Right. Like when A.J. Hawk married Brady Quinn's sister and he got to sack him and he was like, yeah, I'm going to drape my dick on you, Brady Quinn, and then inside your sister later. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go to the
That's
scores.
elite trash talk.
That is good. Who was it that 2 NBA players where one recited the other guy's his girlfriend's phone number? Oh gosh, who knows that story? Fuck.
Was
oh shit!
Damn.
What the
Dodge.
Fuck, Dodge? God damn it!
Dodger for $100. You read it, Tree.
Mm-hmm. I'm back on the job and got all of my state assistants. I'll share my piece when it's time for the Philadelphia San Fran game. Have a lot to say to both you guys and to the dumpster fire community. Stay tuned. With 6 cows lining
Those
the
aren't
screen.
goats?
Dodger, thank you very much. I don't know if they're cows or goats. Yeah, I think they're
Those are
cows. They're
6
cows.
Nathan Petermans? I don't know. All right,
No,
let's
Nathan
do the
Peterman
first.
is a goat, not a cow.
That's right. Let's do the first game. They're Bulls. Bulls on parade. Nice. Broncos and the Jets. The Thursday night game that they got in before COVID struck. Broncos win this.
Jets tier trash.
The Jets are...
They are trash among trash. Adam Gase is still head coach, and it's fucking hilarious. Everyone was so hyped up. It's like, oh, Adam Gase might get fired, and every single Jets fan is sitting there cheering and hoping for Brett Rippon to come through, and by God, he did. And they still didn't fire him.
He looked...
Sam Darnold's gonna fucking die.
Rippon looked awful. Like, he looked terrible, and they still
That's
won.
because he has the offensive guru and the brilliant Adam Gase coaching him to undo his turnover mechanisms back at USC. They are killing him, man.
Darnold had that one play, that run where he just broke it open.
Yeah. Well, Darnold has like one good play a game, if you've noticed that. He had that one good pass against Indy. He had that one good pass in week 2 where he just scrambled for his fucking life and randomly found a wide receiver, same as against Indy. And then he had where he's scrambling for his fucking life and juking everything in sight. That's Sam Darnold. He has like one good play. He's Mitch Trubisky, but in New York.
You just look at his progression, and you look at someone like Josh Allen, who came in at the same time, and basically Darnold is the clone of Josh Allen physically.
That's what coaching does, though.
But
because Sam Darnold was better polished when he came out of college. But the fact that he had Todd Bowles and 2 years of Adam Gase, which is pretty much a net negative, he's regressed. And Josh Allen has had legitimate coaching, legitimate structure, and he's been able to develop into his full potential, at least for now.
And that's really like Josh Allen coming alive this season. I'm like,
I did not expect that. I mean, I felt like he stalled out, but holy shit,
he's clutch.
Like too. He wasn't horrible in the playoffs, but like he made the bonehead decision.
I mean, like he struck me as more of a running back last year. Like,
yeah,
I mean, like he did more like, run around. He was wildly inaccurate, but this year it's like, Jesus Christ, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Is he making me eat shit because I called him a running back?
He's making a lot of
people come on. Everyone called Lamar Jackson a running back. I supported that man. I love Lamar Jackson.
You just see, though, quarterback progressions. Like, it is basically a crapshoot, right? It's situation, it's ability, and,
coaching.
What the failure rate is going to be way higher than the success rate. Like, I'm sure 7 and 10.
Look at all the first round busts that have been over the past even 5 years.
Yeah, for every Josh Allen, there's 20 Josh Rosens, and it's sad, but that's what happens.
Oh yeah.
Is he getting a fair shake, or is he just terrible?
Well, it's a little both, I feel like. He's been fucked over everywhere he went, but he hasn't really proven much with his situations. I don't know if it's because he hasn't been able to develop or if it's because he's just bad. I mean, he's on the practice squad in Tampa, so
if he would look there, but the thing is, right, in the NFL or any profession, you got to be so good they can't ignore you. And he's getting ignored. So that gives you kind of some insight into Josh Rosen. He's been given starting opportunities. And
when you're a first-round pick, you'll get all the chances you can get.
You can't make excuses for him anymore.
I mean, look how long it took Chicago to pull from Mitch Trubisky.
They should have did that. They were scared.
Well, it's because they threw all that draft capital to move up one position to trade it.
Yeah.
And those picks became Fred Warner, Tedrick Thompson, and Alvin Kamara. So that's why they're so stubborn. And Ryan Pace will go down with that ship if need be.
And
that's probably one. I would say that's probably one of the worst misses in draft.
One of the worst trades, and I hated that from day one.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that liked it.
And plus, you get Pat Mahomes just thrown in your face every time.
As I said, the pick was Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Imagine how good he looked in that Bears system.
Yep. Spencer Young, Rich Gannon implies the existence of poor Gannon. And if you ask me, that's messed up. # Gannon equality now. All right.
I could use that for my faux presidential campaign.
Good old poor Gannon.
Equality for Gannon.
Makai Wilson, Bill O'Brien is fired. W in the chat, boys. Yep. It finally happened. We said last week that he would never get fired. Oh, I did.
I thought so too. I mean, I did not expect that this early.
I don't think anybody thought he would get fired. I think he was one of those. I thought he would at least make it until the end of the season.
Same here.
And they would think about it. Like, that man has been stealing money.
Right.
We should set fire to the Belichick tree.
Everyone still thinks the Belichick tree is the answer. I mean, the Giants just hired somebody from the Belichick tree last year.
The
problem is with the Belichick tree, everyone wants to try and be Belichick. They want to be themselves. And there's only one way you can get away with being a Belichick, and it's if you win. Because, I mean, if you've seen with Patricia, if you don't win and you act like Belichick, you just come off as this arrogant blowhard that nobody likes. Even high schoolers wouldn't like that shit.
Some of the worst excuses I ever heard in my life.
It's Matt Patricia. I hated him from the moment he was hired. So you know what?
Originally I wanted Terrell Lawson to get the job. I thought they should have gave it to him because he had that defense. I think it was 2014. They was rocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'd be better than Patricia.
That Matt Patricia.
Anybody,
on Twitter when they said that they'll hire Bill O'Brien when they fire Matt Patricia, you were ready to fight.
So I'm in this Lions group. I joined this Lions group on Facebook, and I've legitimately seen 4 or 5 posts saying we want Bill O'Brien, and I'm like, I have to let go of this team and its fan base because I'm better than this.
Who's posting that? Packers fans? Come on.
Probably the rest of the NFC.
Lions cannot hire Bill O'Brien.
It's like the rest of the AFC East saying extend Adam Gase.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of all this, let's go to the next game in the order that it happened, and that happens to be the Saints and the aforementioned Lions. The Saints are back to.
I'd say they're still.
Oh, I forgot wild card.
I mean, I had them as division.
I gotta do wild card. I forgot about that. Whoops. You want them as division?
Yeah, I had them as division the whole time, I think.
All right, yeah, let's put the Saints at division. They'll probably win the division. They'll get their shit together. Where do we put the Lions, DeQwan? This is all on you. No matter if you say Super Bowl,
put them.
I will.
Can you put them below the Jets? Can you make a new tier? Big trash.
That's not important because the Detroit Lions can't even be the trashiest.
They have a win.
Simply trash.
They're somewhere in between regular trash and put them right next to the Jets.
You're serious? They have a win.
Well, they have a win because Kyler Murray played like shit. They were still trying to give away that game.
Listen, if it wasn't for Matt Prater, they would have lost that game.
Of course.
If it wasn't for Stafford, they would have lost that game. And the only reason that they won that game is because I don't know. I can't even explain it. Like, they were losing.
Kyler Murray played like shit. That's why you won.
And then still he threw 3 interceptions, and it wasn't like a total ass kicking.
Yeah.
I think Matt Stafford might be the worst thing for your franchise. Not because of him being overrated, but because he bails you out from time to time, masking your real issues and preventing real change from occurring. So your ownership and the management think, oh, we're just a piece or two away from making the playoffs. We'll just sign a couple former Patriots to bloated contracts.
He has way too many comebacks. Like, he's the only reason that they have a chance. And when he does get those games, we don't suck enough in that season.
Look at last year. He got injured and you immediately became trash.
I cut the first Jeff Driscoll game off at halftime.
Jesus Christ.
He's up there with Nathan Peterman to me.
Well, he got benched for Brett Rippon, so I mean,
yeah, it's horrible.
That's all you need to know.
All
And I
right.
think like it's one of those things about Detroit sports. Like every time we get a player that's really good, they go somewhere else, and we got Cal Van Noy winning Super Bowls in New England. Justin Verlander went to Houston, won the World Series. Like as soon as Stafford leaves, he's gonna be on a Super Bowl contender somewhere. And
a Super Bowl contender, or he'll retire in his prime. It's the only way.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah.
Nobody deserves this hell.
Well, he's taken a beating. He has.
Mm-hmm.
He has. Tree, read Jared Froman through Alex.
Texans fans, nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, goodbye. Beautiful. I think every NFL fan's cheering that right now.
I've never seen a more celebrated loss of a
Even I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, did this happen? You saw that offseason. It was a fucking disaster. Well, I've been on record saying he should have been fired at halftime of that game against the Chiefs. It was that bad.
What's funny is we all tweeted about him saying that he was going to take over the play calling duties, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, come on.
It's like, oh, we'll give you permanent GM powers. We'll make you Zara football with play calling duties. Fuck no, you're already ruining.
This organization clearly. Yep, you've lost all institutional control. And that was probably the best move that he's made, was taking over the play calling, because that's what he's actually good at.
Oh, he'll get an offensive coordinating job with the Patriots or the Jets.
He'll get a job.
Yeah, well, he'll get a job because the NFL's incestuous, and
he might have to get punished being like a quarterback's coach or some shit, but he'll be back
for a couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, the quarterback whisperer who hasn't developed any quarterbacks. I got you,
Adam Gase. All right, read the two Alex.
Alex Moreno. Cheers, gentlemen. I find it horribly sad that O'Brien was fired over Adam Gase. Bill still managed a few winning seasons before he killed the team, but that was because of the talent around him. It was in spite of O'Brien.
Yeah, he had Deshaun Watson.
And J.J. Watt.
Nuke Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They had Arian Foster for a couple of years, I think.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And Johnson. Also, rip Eddie Van Halen. Van Lee Roth over Van Hagar over Van Gary.
You know what? I like Van Lee Roth too. They were the tits.
Van Lee Roth was good shit. Van Hagar just came off as just like oversynthesized.
All right, Chargers Bucks. The Bucks.
They're a wild card.
Yeah, they look good.
I mean, they look like they blew it, but the Chargers chargered.
Everybody was ready to bury Brady after that pick six.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the memes were loaded. I saw a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to call him Jameis Brady, I think.
And nope, they came back and they won, and they are 3-1. And the Chargers are 1-3. They're interesting. Where do we put them?
I call them mediocrity.
Yeah,
Justin Herbert looks like he can sling.
Yep.
But the problem is, look at their losses. They lost because of a botched forward lateral. They lost because of, blatant miscues. And I forget how they lost in game 2.
They should have beat the Chiefs. They should have beat the Chiefs. They had them dead to
rights. They should be, 3-1, maybe 4-0. I mean, even if you count like the Bengals bungling, they should still be 3-1.
Yeah.
This is a typical Charger season.
Yeah. This is Charger.
I don't know how you say that, but it's vintage chargering. Every year with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
How do these organizations get the? I feel like there should be some type of change in management, ownership. The NFL needs to crack down on these sorry ass franchises.
It's because Dean Spanos is a spineless fuck who only cares about money.
Well,
this has been this way for decades with Dean. It started when they fired Marty Schottenheimer after a 14-2 season, and it's continued.
Well,
it's been 15 years of the shit. At least Alex Spanos cared.
Fish rots from the head. That's the saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
J&D Productions was in here earlier. I didn't get a chance to say what's up to J&D, but sorry about that. Maybe if they watch the replay, they'll know that we saw them. Sorry, we didn't acknowledge them. Let's do another game. We have the Jaguars, or the Jaguars, and the Bengals. Joe Burrow gets his first win in the Natty. And
They both trash.
Even with that win, the Jaguars are definitely trash, and
They both
definitely
trash.
tanking.
Is that like the second time that their window closed that fast? Like when they got to the AFC Championship game in like the 90s, they were gone for a long time, weren't
I
they?
think that lasted even longer. That lasted, I think, like 3 or 4 years.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, remember when they had Byron Leftwich and then David Garrard came in, and then they just died,
Yeah.
And then they got to the AFC Championship again, and they died. And they are just trash now. They are regular old trash.
You know what's funny is both of those franchises have been in existence for like 1995, and they still have more playoff wins than the Lions.
I know. Well, no, the Bengals have been around for a long time. They've been to
around since 60.
I meant the Panthers. That's what
Yeah. Those all the expansion teams have at least one playoff win.
Well, to be fair, you do have more playoff wins since 90 than the Bungles.
That's true. That's true. That's one victory you have there. Jimmy Resendez. If the Texans can fire Bill, we can fire Patricia. There is hope for us yet. I think if they lose this weekend, he's done.
Hopefully.
I think it's a bye week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like he should have been fired at halftime. I would have went down, left my press box, left my hot dog in the press box, and sent his ass packing.
They should have fired him last season, but they're talking about the culture that he's building. What fucking culture of bitching at reporters to stand straight and ride ATVs on a fucking field?
Who was the receiver? Some receiver posted on Twitter like to his friend that, it was like good game or something. And Matt Patricia came up to him and said, "Stop sucking that man's dick."
That was Darius Slay.
Yeah, that's it. Darius Slay.
I know he bitched at Big Play Slay.
Yeah, and that just is indicative. The Darius Slay situation, talent like that gets run out of town because Matt Patricia can't shut his fucking mouth.
It's because he wants to be Belichick.
Exactly. And the thing is, if you're winning, you can do that. If you're fucking 10-25-1, you can't say shit like that.
No, you can't. Plan B Skateboard Company. Despite my Ravens winning Sunday, I'm far from impressed, to be honest, until they win a playoff game. They are the Houston Rockets of the NFL to me. Yeah, Lamar, I'm not saying this is the case. He's gotten a little neck tight in big games, and he did not show up against the Chiefs. I mean, his talent doesn't go on, like the things that he does great, like running, doesn't go on a slump, but it seems like when he has to throw, he's not always,
I think he's going to start getting the Vic comparisons pretty soon with that.
Yeah.
Like how he uses his legs to escape and build himself
escape and playoff utility.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't want those Vic comparisons. Boy,
you don't want the main Vic comparison.
Yeah. All right, let's look at Vikings and Texans, the game that got Bill O'Brien fired. Where do we put the Vikings? Like, I guess, are they mediocre?
I still say mediocrity. I mean, they had to win that game, and they did. Their secondary is pure trash. Like, if I had to separate it, secondary is trash. Their offense is decent. Kirk Cousins is way hot and cold. Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson are beasts. But they have no offensive line. They have no secondary. Anthony Barr's out for the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put them in mediocre for now.
Yep. And then the Texans are obviously regular trash. They'll probably
get to mediocre. I put them below that because, honestly, they're completely fucked if you look at their situation. They've locked up all of their big players to long-term contracts. They don't have their first 2 picks in this year's draft. First rounder goes to the Dolphins. Second rounder goes to the Rams.
But
they have like $22 million per year at Laramie Tunsil, which is like, what the fuck? You have a bunch of players being overpaid. You're like $40 million over the cap for next year. So you got to make a lot of cuts.
The schedule's about to get
It's going to take years to undo this damage.
Fire sale, yeah.
Years.
True.
I think
This is like the highest paid team in the NFL.
Hopefully,
and they're garbage. They have no chemistry.
Yeah, you're right.
It's atrocious.
Hopefully Deshaun has a long enough career so that he is has a winner.
Fortunately, it was a short-term deal, so I think it's like 4 years. So if he doesn't like it, he can demand a trade or leave in free agency.
Yeah, such a shame, such a waste of talent.
I know. He's the only reason they're relevant. And he traded his best wide receiver because his coach compared him to Aaron fucking Hernandez.
Thomas F. If the Giants win the first overall pick, do they draft Trevor or do they trade down for a slew of other first rounders? No, they draft Trevor.
I think they draft Trevor. Daniel Jones does not look like the answer.
He's not progressing. He's not like the Giants have scored 3 touchdowns all year. Okay. And, quarterback play matters. You saw last night in the Patriot game where Hoyer was terrible, and those were all makeable throws. And if Daniel Jones isn't going to make the makeable throws, we're fucked. We don't need him. Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent, and if you have that option to have him, you ship Daniel Jones with whatever you can get for him. You'll
probably get a 3rd round pick for him at this rate. That's why I've been calling him Danny Derp since the start of the year.
And you get a possession receiver with that 3rd round pick. And all of a sudden Trevor Lawrence looks great and his androgynous looks. I'm a random guy for $4.99. Can't wait for KTO and Scooter Magruder so we could see how McCarthy is not solving anything.
Oh God. Scooter Magruder would flip 17 shades of shit.
Oh my gosh.
Dear God, that offensive line is battered, and that secondary is so goddamn atrocious.
So bad. It's not really.
And then they bring in Earl Thomas for a huge payday, and he's just as bad.
You think Cowboys fans are clamoring for Jason Garrett back?
No, they want Earl Thomas.
Look what he's doing in New York. What Jason Garrett is doing with the offense.
I think at this point, I think Packers fans are just pointing and laughing at him because Mike McCarthy has learned nothing.
Yeah, it's like when the Redskins hired Mike Shanahan. Everyone told him, hey, look, this guy wasn't all that great. He had Elway and Terrell Davis. And
you said the NFL is incestuous, Tree?
Yeah, pretty much. It is very incestuous when it comes to the only league that's more progressive when it comes to recycling is the NHL.
Yeah. Like it's the same. Like that's why we keep getting the same old seasons, man. It's the same coaching trees, same people's in systems. Like I think with McVay and LaFleur hiring the younger guys, like you got to get all these old farts out of here, man. That type of football doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
it'll work eventually. There's always like waves. You'll have an offensive wave, and then the defense is going to come back with new schemes that counter those waves, and then the offense will bring more schemes that counter those waves. Maybe we'll get another run-heavy system like we had in the 90s. It goes through waves.
Yeah, it does, and it's also dictated by the rules and what the NFL wants to see.
The NFL was very high-flying in terms of its passing in the early 80s. You had Air Coryell that took over the league, and then defensive coordinators adapted to it. And that's why you got the run-heavy systems of guys like Schottenheimer, the West Coast of Bill Walsh, and then like what is it? Shit, like Belichick's system he uses now. I forget the name of it. Erhard Perkins. That's what it is.
Oh no, it's called Rely on Tom Brady. That's what it was called.
It's called cheating.
That too.
Seahawks and the Dolphins. Seahawks continue to impress. They look like a Super Bowl contender. Russ is cooking.
Seahawks, they struggled on offense for a little bit, though.
They did, but they pulled it out.
Yeah, it was looking interesting. They did. I still say Super Bowl.
What about the Finns, though?
Do I put them in mediocre or not?
Finns have upside.
Regular trash. I think the Finns are regular trash.
Regular trash?
They got
I'll go with
I'd say trash for now. They have upside. They're going to bring in Tua eventually because this is a rebuilding year for them.
Yeah. Actually, though, the Dolphins, their one win was over Jacksonville. Come on. They regular trash. You cannot put them in the mediocre. They regular trash. This game is I want to do this one before we get on to another Snapchat. Browns versus the Foul Boys. And the Browns tried to blow it, and then Odell Beckham said, no, sir. And,
I throw them in wild card.
Browns are good. Browns.
They look legit.
Be division. They might be division, but I'm gonna go wild card.
Wild card.
Yeah, just like
with the Ravens
Dogs.
and Steelers, it's going to be very tough for that division.
Where do we?
And they got crushed by the Ravens, if you remember.
That's true. Where do we put these Cowboys?
Oh God, I want to make them trash so bad. I want to make
They
them
gotta
trash
be-
so bad.
The problem
They
I
gotta
have,
be regular
I gotta
trash.
call them mediocre,
At
just because
least
of how
regular
garbage the NFC East is.
yeah,
I want to call them trash.
they
so
could win the
goddamn bad.
division.
Do it.
The thing is, the Cowboys are better than the Eagles, and they're better than Washington.
I guess division. I want to call them
I know,
trash
I
so
want to
bad,
cry.
though.
I want to cry that a
Call them
1-3
trash.
team is going into division when we put other teams that have better records are below them. Like this is
We have a 1-3 team in trash.
yeah.
We have
I
two
know.
1-3 teams in trash.
And then the Cowboys are at division. That's how
Actually,
fucking
wait.
trash.
3 1-3 teams in trash.
I think we need to put the NFC East as its own tier.
Yes.
NFC East trash tier. All right, GN. It's sad the Browns are having their best start since 2001, yet they are still third in the division. This better not be a repeat of 2007 again. No, this team is probably going to the playoffs.
I mean, with a 7-team playoff, chances are slim unless they collapse.
Yeah. And then goes to Saltwater, 1989er. I will rise from the briny depths of the Chesapeake and drag those worthless pieces of fuck and race control into the watery remains of Hampton Roads. Yes, I wonder if that's Beast of Metal.
I don't know. Probably.
I wonder if that's who that is. Yeah, I thought we were at the bottom of the chats, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, and then you reload.
Yeah.
Dylan Philpott for 5. We got Max Domi. Let's go.
I don't know if you're...
That was a weird trade, but like Bergevin's trades have had a weird habit of working out for him in the end.
Yeah,
I don't understand it, but they do.
yeah.
So I'll give it time.
Yeah. Domi, though, he has a lot of potential. It's just...
He had one
not
good year and
living up
kind of
to it.
tapered off, but Josh Anderson was completely injured to hell last year. He had like 1 goal and 4 points in 29 games. But he had 27 goals the year before.
For the audience, I have been following the draft a little bit. Obviously, the Rangers took Lafreniere with the #1 overall pick. I think the most intriguing pick after that is what the Rangers do with the 22, whether they trade it or take somebody that's available. I think we're at the 10th pick. No real big surprises here or reaches. Jack
the
Quinn,
NHL?
the Sabres got Quinn.
Sanderson was a bit of a reach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, at 5. Boy, he's only 18. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's Jeff Sanderson's
Shit.
kid. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Like back in the day with
Or
the Whalers.
Or
Blue
Derek
Jackets.
Sanderson. No, Jeff Sanderson. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Jeff Sanderson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's his kid.
And then
I think Robert Reichel's kid in this, like a bunch of kids are in this draft.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if hopefully Lafreniere develops and we don't feel the pain of not taking Byfield, because Byfield was
They're up
sadly
to
gutted.
13. Carolina picked Seth Jarvis. Askarov went to Nashville.
Askarov. Haha. Red Rhino 94. Put my fantasy football in the NFC East. I'm 4-0 with Wilson at QB, Robinson and Allen at wide receiver, Kellick at the tight end, and Elliott and McLaurin at RB. I would beat an average NFC East team by 30 points. Yes. So do you play fantasy at all, DeQwan?
I am 1-3 in one league and 3-1 in the other league. So one thing that you guys don't need to do is stack your team with Detroit Lions players, because you have delusions of grandeur about what's going to happen during the season. But I put Galladay back in. I got Russell Wilson on one squad, Stafford on the other. You can imagine which team is the 1-3 team.
It's amazing how you think that because you know a player and his ability that he's going to be like a sleeper, when really you are using your heart to pick a player because you want him to do well.
Just hoping and praying, wishes. Right. I just hope they all go out there and have fun, man.
It's like playing Madden with your squad, thinking that your squad is still going to be good when it's straight trash. You know, like when you ready up on Madden with the Lions and you just get crushed and you're like, man, fucking shit. You know,
trash.
Just
frustrating trash.
Because you think that you know their weaknesses and strengths, but they just suck. They have nothing but weaknesses.
Okay, but honestly, I think I could go out there and scheme a better game than Matt Patricia.
I think anyone can scheme a better game than Matt Patricia. You can play Ask Madden, and he could probably scheme a better game plan on defense than that.
Dude, all it is man. Like it's a form. All he does is base man. I'm pretty sure that's the call. We get 4-man pressures. Everybody manned up on the outside.
Well, it's either you do the base man of Patricia or the soft zone of Dan Quinn. It's like, okay.
it's a losing recipe either way.
I think you guys are wrong. He is a rocket scientist.
I mean, he always has a pencil in his head.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a sign of intelligence, right?
He was the man who coached the player that intercepted the ball in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Up until that moment, he was a giant fat loser.
You cannot top that ever. That's the only thing he needs.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Don't feed Phil. Robert Tonyan is a god among men.
We also played the Falcons, so a little asterisk there.
Yeah, a little asterisk.
They don't cover tight ends.
Yep.
They're homophobes. They don't like tight ends.
Cardinals, Panthers. Panthers finally get a win. Where do you put the Panthers? Mediocrity?
Maybe mediocrity. Well, they have 2 wins, so they are mediocrity.
Yeah, they are the definition of mediocrity. And I would say the Cardinals are there right with them, right?
Mm-hmm. They kind of fell to mediocrity. They have not had a good couple weeks.
Ravens, Washington.
Washington be trash.
Ravens back in Super Bowl contention with that.
Yeah.
They still until they face the Chiefs and lose in the AFC Championship game, they're still a Super Bowl contender. Washington is
trash.
They regular trash though, because
they about to bench.
They are leading the division and they are regular trash.
Regular trash.
It wasn't even close. Haskins is about to lose his job.
That's what I mean. He's about to lose it to Kyle Allen.
They're the
to go. You kind of feel bad for him.
He hasn't been that good though.
Really. Yeah, no.
What do I have to do to help you? I don't know. How about not turn the fucking ball over?
His mechanics are bad though. Like he doesn't have that.
His mechanics were a huge question coming out of college, weren't they?
Yeah, his throwing style is very what's the word I'm looking for? Susceptible. It's sus. It's sus to overthrowing. The way that his elbow comes through and the angle that his arm goes for him to throw, and that's why you see him overthrowing a lot. And it's just, I don't know if he can fix that. It's tough. Tough scene. They should just get taller receivers. That's what they should do. That's what the Giants did. They went out and got Plaxico Burress because Eli Manning kept overthrowing everyone. Goes to Saltwater 1989. They will be force-fed a meal of barnacles and broken clamshells until they erupt from their intestines, which will then be feasted upon by carnivorous crustaceans and the corpse of Joe Weatherly. Wow.
Oof. Jesus.
That was an ass whipping right there. Sorry for everyone's ears. Right there. Before You Love Shine, rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen and Alexis Lafreniere, with the latter becoming into Patrick Ewing 3.0. Also, welcome to Los Angeles, Quentin Byfield. All right, let's go. Okay, we got the Giants and the Rams. What are we going to do here? The Giants, I made their own tier of trash. They are Giants level trash.
Can the Giants be below?
No, they have their own tier of trash.
But I mean, do they have to fall into that category?
Yeah.
Can they be worse than their own level of trash? This is just philosophy I'm throwing out there.
Nah, they're just regular old trash. They're Giants level
I'm
trash.
curious about that. They seem mostly just pissed off as to why they gave the Rams such a hard time in the middle through the second and third quarter.
Because they actually have a defense. They can play defense. It's just their offense is terrible. So,
oh my God, though that pick and Jones
yeah,
is
that
just
was
so
bad. That was bad.
I think there was something else at work there. I think that was the whole Ramsey Golden Tate feud, because I know Golden Tate has a bit of a beef against the Rams for many years because he was in Seattle for a while. He kind of took advantage of a few notable plays to sort of taunt the Rams, but I didn't really see much after a while when he's pretty much went dormant. I think the Ramsey whole Ramsey thing with his sister kind of reignited that.
Yeah. What do we do with the Rams? Are they a wild card team now at 3-1?
Yeah, I could say so. I mean, they're second in the division considering the Cardinals just lost to the Panthers.
Yeah, I'll put them at wild card. Giants are tanking, and they're shit. Hold on.
Yeah.
Tree, read some snappers. I got to take off my my sweat jacket here. It's getting a little warm in here. Tree, you went to take a dump? Where are you? What happened to Tree, everybody? Is Tree dead? Where'd he go? I told you to read some snappers, but it's all
Sorry, I was in the bathroom.
Oh, you're taking a shit. You didn't
He
even
was
tell
drinking
us.
one.
You're dropping a hot one, and you didn't even tell us that you left.
Sorry, I thought you guys were still going to keep going. My God.
Ghost of Saltwater 1989, and that was my reaction after they turned the penalty on Chase Elliott into a penalty on Chris Buechler. Imagine if that hadn't happened. Oh wait, I missed the one above it. Hold on. He says, Ghost of Saltwater says, their blood in Viscera shall be used as fingerprint to create a mural depicting the punishment for their incredible crimes against the honorable drivers unfairly victimized in the name of safety. And that was my reaction after they turned the penalty on Chase Elliott into a penalty on Chris Buescher. Imagine if that hadn't happened. And Ghost of Saltwater 1989 also says, hashtag yellow lines of dumb, hashtag free Matty D, hashtag free Buescher. All right.
Of course, that's be the one time I take a goddamn piss.
All right, let's look at one more game here. Bills and Raiders. Bills beat the Raiders. Pretty clutch performance from Josh Allen. Bills are still in division for sure.
Yeah, their division. Raiders, mediocre.
Okay. I'm not gonna
Too many
put up
fumbles to put them in wild
a
card.
fight there. All right. We read Dodger. You read the next like 4.
Mm-hmm. Joey Overstreet for 5. Hello, boys. Keep up the good work. Also, 5, how is the second coming of Blaine Gabbert working out for you? By the way, OBJ had a great game, and as always, go Broncos. Man, he's really rubbing
He's
it.
twisting the knife over there.
He's twisting it 3 different ways.
That's an insult to Blaine Gabbert.
Logan Duvik for 5. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. My Texans are free at last. Super Bowl, here we come. Not at 0-4. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Maybe
Craig.
in 5 years.
Craig Kramer for 666. Somehow Adam Gase still has a job, even though the Broncos had the backup to the backup to the backup starting at QB, and this god-awful team lost. One more. Hey, guy, do you enjoy football talk? Do you want to hear what an actual Jaguars fan sounds like? Well, on JagsCast, we can talk Jags football and all of the NFL. New episodes every Thursday. Hashtag thank you.
Oh, so Craig launched JagsCast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be funny to be call it the Jag-Offs.
It's too Pittsburghese.
Yeah, it's true. But I think Jag-Offs would be really funny if you named them that. Mm-hmm.
And the Leafs made their pick, Rodion Amarov, with a pick that should have been the Penguins, but
Is that the
Jim
16th?
Rutherford got a hockey boner for a guy they once had.
Is that the 16th pick right there?
The 15th.
15th. So 7 more picks till the 22nd comes up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's do another game. Colts and the Bears. Colts are actually a decent team.
Their defense, just shut them the fuck down.
Which is easy, though.
Yeah. I mean, now everyone's pretending like Mitch Trubisky wasn't really at fault. It's like, no, he still sucks. They both suck.
Colts are 3-1. Are they a wild card team?
Oh my god.
Division?
They might have replaced the Raiders.
The Titans are going to win that division. I would say the Colts.
It's crazy. Is Rivers playing good at all?
No, he's just getting.
He didn't really do much. It's his defense.
Yeah.
I mean, the Colts have a good team around the quarterback. The problem last year, they didn't really have a quarterback.
Yeah, he's
Due
such
to,
a market.
certain-
You're a market improvement above Jacoby Brissett. So,
I have a feeling that the division is Indianapolis's to lose. Simply
Really?
based on the fact that the Titans are going through the COVID thing.
It's true.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's now going to fuck up the Titans' entire cycle about this whole season.
Well, we can only operate off the data that we have, and right now we have the data in front of us, which I just made a circular statement there because I'm just taking up airtime. But I'm not going to put maybe by next week. Okay. But yeah, the Titans kind of fucked themselves by getting the COVIDs. What do we do with the Bears?
What are they going to do with the schedule now? Are the Titans going to have to play an extra game in January?
They're going to railroad
it's in week 7. It's going to be in week 7.
Oh, then they lose their bye.
Yep, Steelers, they had their bye this week. Then Steelers and Texans play week 7. Steelers bye was week 8. Steelers Ravens gets pushed to week 8. So they can at least get away with this one. If they have other ones, they might not be so lucky.
Yeah, because they're going to be very sore then by week 17.
Oh, of course.
You know what happened to the Titans and the Steelers? It's like they called in sick for their job, and then their job was like, yeah, that's your vacation. Too.
Yeah, they almost should move back the Super Bowl if there's going to be even more delays. They might move the Super Bowl back to March 1.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, and that's really... And the teams that are going to be contracting are going to be the ones playing behind the 8 ball, just like how the Cardinals were all baseball season. Because the Cardinals had to run like 5 straight double headers just to catch up.
Right, and by the time they got to the playoffs, they were on fumes.
They were just mediocre to begin with, but even then, it's like... Yeah.
So with the Titans, I mean, really, the AFC South at this point is Indianapolis's to lose, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Agreed. This is it.
Fine. All right, fine. You guys convinced me. Let that be known that for the first time on the internet, someone was convinced by someone else's opinion.
that was some good argument. Like I was at the beginning, I said no, not at all, and then that's
and then old Hiei comes shooting in here.
That's right. What do we do with the Bears? What do we do with the Bears?
You know what? I'm good. Call me a madman, but after that loss and the fact that I believe we're going to be 3-2 after Thursday, put them in wild card because where the hell is the rest of the NFC North going to come from?
Yeah, because
there's going to be the Vikings and the Lions.
The Vikings have not convinced me that they're going to do something. Like, they beat Houston. They didn't beat Houston by a lot.
Yeah, I got some arguments there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, if the Bears aren't wild card, you'd put them
in mediocre.
Well, you'd either put them in mediocre.
They couldn't beat the Colts, though.
Yeah, and Minnesota couldn't beat the Colts either, but people still slurp their dick.
You're right. Okay, fine. Stop with your logical argument.
But don't worry,
after all, our score differential against Indianapolis was better than Minnesota's.
Well, Minnesota has no fucking secondary.
True.
Yeah.
But at the same point, the Bears, and my problems with the Bears are as thus. We keep committing defensive penalties that keep drives alive that ends in touchdown. I can't think of a touchdown drive against us all year that was not helped by a defensive penalty. And the Bears aren't winning on either side of the ball on third down. We can't convert a third down on offense. We can't stop a third down on defense. It's really getting to be troubling that the defense cannot get off the field. And I know that we missed Goldman in the middle, but I think that continuing to run Akeem Hicks, even though we went out and signed a guy off of Pittsburgh's practice squad who still hasn't seen the field in 2 weeks, I mean, at least show me something. Show me that we went and signed this 6'7", 355-pound guy from Pittsburgh to do something about the run defense in the middle.
Are you talking about Daniel McCullers?
Yes.
He's just big. He doesn't do anything else.
That's like Sean Zoria.
He hasn't developed for shit.
Or Chris Zordich.
He's bigger than Akeem Hicks, though.
He's just big. That's really about it.
There's many a big guy that are not in the NFL.
I'm just telling you from Pittsburgh, you're going to be sorely disappointed just because of the size.
Well,
don't expect anything from him.
All right.
Well, even still, I mean, it's something. Give me something.
All right.
No,
I put him in wild card. Let me get some super chats, guys. DDRMSTR Pro, Manziel or Rosen? At least Josh Rosen appears to care about
I say Rosen.
Johnny Manziel was never going to work because he's been handed
Now
everything.
give a fuck.
Yeah, he did not give. Remember when he went to Vegas and then on the plane home he was looking at the playbook? I was like, yeah, that he fell asleep like an hour after that plane got off. After Wheels Up, he was knocked out.
Why the fuck were you even in Vegas during football season?
Yeah. James Amadei, blame Ford. Lions fans, blame Ford. Yeah.
Well, it's not Ford anymore. It's the Firestone that sold it to like her daughter.
Yeah.
It's her daughter.
You still got the
daughter-in-law's something.
DNA of the loser.
Loser DNA. Mm-hmm. Goes to Saltwater 1989. If the Johnsons will sell talcum powder for decades after learning about the latent asbestos contamination, they'll keep Basket Gase until 2022 at least. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, the Johnsons are little cows of their own, right? They have no idea how to run a football franchise.
Yeah, they've had trouble running their empire built on soap and drugs. So,
well, that's what happens when you're a legacy owner of like a Johnson family.
Yeah,
like,
aren't a couple of the Johnson kids like drug addict, fuck ups?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, the DuPont kid was fucked up.
Yeah.
All the DuPont kids are fucked up.
Well, that's what happens.
That's what happens when you have
up.
too much money. It's like you don't have any real responsibilities or like ability to empathize with people, so you turn into fucked up little shits.
And absolutely no sense of reality whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to reach that level.
Hey, we'd all like to reach that level. Dude, I'd love fucking money.
Right. As my father used to say, money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you something so close you can't tell the difference.
That is a wise man.
Yep.
I personally say it can't buy you happiness, but it can tell everyone to go fuck themselves.
Yeah. It can buy you two chicks at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Craig Kramer.
Buy you honey.
Somehow Tampa Bay is in sports heaven. New York sucks. I think the Yankees tied it up.
They trail now. It's 3-1.
Oh, okay. All right. And I'll read one more. Lore Nevermore. I, a Ravens fan, have returned to the stream following a week of hiding from the embarrassment to Mahomes and company. What did I miss last week? A bunch of shit posting and a bunch of shit talking. All right, let's wrap these games up. Eagles and Niners. The fucking Eagles surprised the shit out of me. They should not have beaten the Niners. It all came down to one pick six, which that throw was terrible. They dropped
it. It was literally handed to him. Like, I'm just like, whoop. It's like, oh, hey, I got a ball.
They dropped into a cover three, and the running back, instead of flaring out, stayed in to block. And Mullins just threw into, didn't even see the underneath coverage. Like, it was obvious, too. Like, all three linebackers backed up, went straight into yellows. And the running back stayed in the block, and it was fucked. So, Dodge, are you here?
Certainly am.
Where do we put these Eagles?
All right. I watched the game with Cat Doug the other night. Actually, I was up in North Jersey with them because we were having our little birthday get together. Which, by the way, it is Doug's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday to Doug!
Birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
So that I was actually in tears at the end of the game because, oh my God, I have a football team again.
You pulled one out. You pulled out a win that you shouldn't have had. So
I was listening to WIP on the way home, and everybody was saying, we had this as a loss. How did they do it? And they're like, hey, where are all you Carson haters at? I'm like, yeah, it's just one game. It's one game. A lucky ass game, but one game all the same.
I here's something that's concerning, right? Carson Wentz played his ass off. I will give him that. That's the old Carson Wentz, and they still barely won. That's
against a heavily injured team.
Against a heavily
playing
injured
a third-string quarterback.
Yes. That's what I would be concerned about if I'm...
You have a healthy 49ers team, they're crushing you.
Yeah. Where do we put them? Call it.
I'd call it football hell. Football
All right.
hell.
That's a very realistic and
I
honorable
would say
assessment.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I love my birds. I love that win the other night. That was really nice. I didn't have to go home didn't have to make that 60-mile drive home miserable. So that was nice. But yeah, it's football hell. We've got a long way to go if we're going to. I don't care that we're on top of the division right now. We don't deserve it.
Yeah. Well, you have a win and a tie, so that's like.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah. All right. And there were a lot of injuries in that game. I mean, linemen were going out. Like it was ugly. It was
Fletcher
very ugly.
Cox.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox kept going in and out.
Slay was in and out. Lane Johnson, Jason Verrett.
Fletcher
Kelsey
Cox sounds
even
like
got
a
hurt at
porno
one point.
name, right? Don't you think Fletcher Cox sounds like a big dick, like just something on dog farts? Fletcher Cox. All right, and we are demonetized.
Did you say dog fart? Oh, yeah.
Dog farts. You know dog farts, right?
No,
We aren't demonetized. We're now qualified for Pornhub.
No, I haven't had a membership there for years.
I don't know. You probably
text me in the comment.
Big X to doubt.
All right.
Get
San
out the big
Francisco-
X.
Baldy looking kind of sus. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, absolutely. He
Yeah.
vented in front of me,
So,
and then he Pornhubbed in front of me.
let's put
Stop pornhubbing in comms.
teach me how to not Pornhub and Fletcher Cox. All right. San Francisco, we're putting in football hell.
They're gonna be in football hell until Jimmy G gets back.
Yeah. Tree, read
Whatever
some supers.
that is.
I will do. Let's go for Skylar Smith, $5. The hack is gone, and now they get a bigger hack in Romeo Crennel. Last time he was head coach, went 2-14 with the Chiefs in 2012. Will the Texans go after Bieniemy? No, they'll probably go after another Patriot because they still have, I think, Easterly in their office. They still Patriots. You have to get rid of them.
Yeah. What if they hire Matt Patricia?
That would be amazing. If he ever gets another job, I'm going to fight.
He could be a
somebody.
coordinator.
I mean, Rich
That would-
Kotite got another job.
No.
Adam Gase got another job.
Does Ben
That would be called
McAdoo?
irony.
What is Ben McAdoo doing besides working in a gym?
I think he's still in the NFL.
He's a
Hold
football
on, let's see.
coach.
He is the
looking-
quarterback's coach for Jacksonville.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
If Ben McAdoo can get a
no.
job, then
He's coaching
there's more
Gardner
incest.
Minshew.
There's more incest in the NFL than on Brazzers. Oh my goodness.
Yo,
Like, it takes a lot to get kicked out of the NFL.
It does.
man.
All
Let's
right.
keep going here. Ghost of Saltwater, 1989. Doug Wilson turned a fifth-round pick into noted system goalie DeQwan Dubnyk. That is not a sign of managerial illness at all, right?
Dubnyk was good for what, 2 years, and then he just turned
Well,
into
he sucked last year. He was horrible. So you now have two of the worst performing goalies on bloated contracts in Martin Jones and Devin Dubnyk. Sharks are gone.
Why would you pick up Dubnyk though? That just makes no sense.
Because he thinks they could fix him at a cheap rate. I don't know. I would have rather kept Aaron Dell.
Yeah. There's no young stud coming up that can replace Devin Dubnyk. All right, keep
Brady
it going.
Zuber, actually. I think Freddie Kitchens is with the Giants.
Really?
I think he's their tight end coach.
Yeah. Well, Kitchens is not a bad guy, and he's not a bad coach. He's just not a head coach. And he
Oh
will
yeah,
never be a
that's
head
what I
coach
mean. That's
again.
why I wasn't that hard on like them hiring Garrett and Kitchens because they were like,
Head coach
more
is like being a
comfortable.
manager. It's like being a leader. You don't call the plays. You're not supposed to. You're just supposed to manage your talent. And some people
manage your talent and develop them.
Right. Some people are innate and good at that, and others are terrible at it. Like I learned that in the business world that I was more of a manager of people, and there were some people that were technically smarter than me, but they would get into management positions. I'd be like, this guy's a fucking moron. He does not know how to treat people. And I'd see it happen in organizations all the time, and there's no stranger to that in football.
Same here. 5 points. I've watched a lot of people go up the ladder faster than they should have.
Well, it's the Peter principle that you figure that someone's competent at their job as an engineer, they must be competent at leading people, and that is not the case. There's two.
Not even close.
I haven't seen it that way. I've seen it. They promote the mediocrity, and anyone who's any good at their job, they keep because they're not willing to replace them.
Well, that's the other.
That's how I've seen it.
That's another portion of the Peter principle as well as getting promoted despite yourself,
Yeah, like that's how I noticed in the restaurant industry. If you're any good, they won't bother to promote you. They'll fuck you over.
Yeah, it's true. All right, keep reading.
I'll keep going here. Give me 1 second. So let's go. The Texas Cowboy 56. What's sad as a Texans fan is we could have had Mike as our head coach. We could be the Titans right now.
Could have had Mike Vrabel, right?
Defensive coordinator in 2017, but now, that was a nightmare year.
Is he considered a Belichick disciple, Mike Vrabel?
I think by
I think so.
I don't know.
I think so.
He was a linebacker. I mean, he basically brought the system.
But philosophy, like the movie did in the playoffs against him. Like he probably pulled directly from him. With the I forgot what it was, but when they got the delayed game call and the clock kept running.
The intentional delay of game, and then
he was under Bill O'Brien. He's under that coaching tree.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we'll talk about it. Actually, we'll talk about it when we get to it. My bad. Read like 2 more. I got to take a piss. See, notice how I tell everyone where I'm going, Tree, instead of just disappearing.
God. Well, how about I thought you guys were going to keep going for a bit because Alex Moreno had just came in or somebody just came in. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh, shut up, you little bitch. Hope you wank on your fucking penis so hard it tears off. Andy Ruggles for 5. I hate these smart Texans. I don't know if they're really that smart. They didn't fire him early enough. James Amadei for 2. God save Trevor Lawrence from New York. I agree. They need escape from New York. Except just keep all of the bad football players in there, and Trevor Lawrence tries to escape. Alex Moreno for 2. Adam Gase is a stapler. Rated PG-13.
You read it wrong. No, it's supposed to be Adam Gase is a stapler. Rated PG-13.
Oh, so like a South Park. I got you.
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to for instance, Dean Spanos is a carrot. Rated PG-13.
Jesus Christ.
What is wrong with the world? Ghost of Saltwater 1989. I think the real straw for Bill Bergevin was steering away from a player mutiny instead of forcing Earl Thomas into the locker room to complete the 2016 Canadiens offseason simulation. Oof. Bill Bergevin. That's actually not a bad name. Alex Moreno for 2. Dean Spanos is a carrot. Rated PG-13.
No, dude, you read it wrong. It's Dean Spanos is a carrot. Rated PG-13. Or for instance, why did I just lose that head? Oh yeah, Pat Shurmur is derpity dumb. Rated PG-13. The creators of Ben and Macadoodle Derp comes Pat Shurmur in Tumka-tila-tumka-doo-da-derp.
Damn.
Was the pandemic special any good?
It wasn't bad.
It was all right. I haven't watched South Park since the 2016 election, man. It just feels like I don't even know. It just feels, I don't know. This for the first time you'll ever hear me say this about South Park. It just feels like it's kind of desperate to really hang on to current events.
I think you can't be more on the nose than what's happening in real life. Like
True.
They're sucking all the funny out of everything.
Well, the problem is you can't. I don't know if a lot of it is also you could offend people by anything you do nowadays. Everyone's a bunch of sensitive little ninnies.
It's completely like
that.
It's
and you don't know
domesticated.
if something can be construed as offensive to anything.
Problem is, like, you can't. It's been so domesticated because of cancel culture now. Like, they actually, I do have good news for everyone loving cops out there. They put cops back on the air, apparently.
All right. What world am I stepping into? I go take a piss and you're talking about cops coming back on the air.
That was the longest goddamn piss I've ever seen in my life.
I had to change my shirt so we don't mess.
You had to change your shirt. That wasn't taking a piss. Like, dear God, did you just like release yourself on your?
Hey, he pissed on himself.
Listen.
God.
Oh boy.
Tree,
Cops is filmed on location in Baldy's bathroom. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
I have a request, Tree. Can you tongue my balls? How about that?
No. How about hard pass? Because I can't find them.
I am Asian. It takes me a while to find them sometimes. I'm just like, oh, can I fucking watch this Pornhub?
This week on 50 Shades of Virginia.
Disclaimer, your balls are a clitoris.
What happened here? Who derailed this train? Get off my train.
I did with my Rob Schneider
we
comments.
got a guest and y'all just jumping in like you just fucking like you're piling on like it's WCW.
I was doing a
shit.
decent momentum, and then Alex Moreno was out criticizing my broadcast of his super chats.
All right,
and then we got into South Park.
How far
He said it wrong.
How far did you get
PG-13
in terms of reading?
Yankees 5-1-2-4-1-7.
Oh, wow, you did pretty good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cover a game here. Get this show back on track because I got to be the dad of the dumpster fire.
Oh, come on.
Okay, Dad.
Whatever, Dad.
Dumpster dad.
All right, Don't Feed Phil put 50 Shades of O'Brien in there. In the chat. Could you imagine that, though? Sorry.
Virginia, 50 Shades of Balls.
And then I'm going to fucking rip your hearts out and trade our best player. What do you think of that, you little slut? That's what Bill.
No, you're going to blindfold him, and then you're going to transfer him and just, like, whip them with the hardcore.
And they take the blindfold off and, like,
David Johnson and Brandon Cooks.
Right.
It's like, oh, yeah, you like blowing that 24-0 lead. Yo, yeah, suck it.
Oh. Take it all in, you fucking little whore. All right, Patriots and Chiefs. Belichick.
Chiefs are Super Bowl.
Yeah, Chiefs are definitely back in the Super Bowl. That's no question. Belichick actually hung with Reed coaching-wise. His execution, his players were not executing at all.
Yeah, his quarterbacks did not do anything. Oh, by the way, your Rangers just traded up for the 19th pick. Flames received the 22 and the 72. So the Rangers are on the clock.
Wow, I like it. They're making some moves here. The Rangers are making moves.
They must be seeing a guy they really like and won't last to 22.
Jeff Gordon he's coming for some moves, and then he's gonna dump them to the Lightning, and they're gonna win another cup. Patriots are a wild card.
On Friday, what you should do is go all in for Petrangelo. That's how I feel.
That's what I feel like that they are.
Oh, they probably won't. They'll probably go to like like the Florida Panthers for like $8 million, and then they'll regret it after 2.
Yeah, something like that. I think they want Petrangelo. I think that he'd be a nice pair with Trouba. I think
he'd be perfect for them.
Yeah, he's the guy, but I don't know if they really should go this big this early.
I'm interested in the stream on Friday. Like, I'm going to do a free agency stream.
Oh, you got to.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to just, like, immediately die if they, like, massively overpay for Marc-Andre Fleury via trade or sign, like, Chris Tanev to a $5 million by 5-year deal, because you know that's going to happen.
Yeah, you know.
I am ready to die on the inside. I am so ready to die.
I'm going to put the Patriots at wild card.
Yeah, I'd say wild card. Yeah. And it looks like 5-1 Rays. Homer for looks like Manny Margot.
Alex Moreno, I find the irony of the Texans coaching situation even more terribly sad. LOL, they went from O'Brien to Crennel, one crappy Pat's disciple to another. Yeah. Maybe it's time Crennel got another chance to blow it.
Crennel had a couple chances.
They're instantly
he had it with
good.
Cleveland. He had it with Kansas City.
They're instantly going to look good because their schedule is getting better as we go
paper
forward.
soft. Let's take a look at their schedule.
Mr. J 2012. If Bob can lose his job, then Quinn can't. I cannot believe that Dan Quinn has a job
I can't believe Quinn Gase or Patricia have jobs. They all should have been fired last year.
Yeah.
Okay, they play Jacksonville. That's probably a win. They play Tennessee. That'll probably be a loss. Green Bay. That's probably a loss. So you're probably going to go 2-2 because you play Jacksonville twice. Cleveland in week 10. New England week 11.
Yeah.
It doesn't get easier.
They're bad.
Although you play Detroit in week 12.
That's going to be a tank bowl.
And DeQuan's like, hello.
No. Listen,
Yeah,
all of them are.
I mean, they're screwed. They are.
Yeah.
They're in trouble.
They're in trouble. Alex Moreno says Dan Quinn is just the offensive twin of Gus Bradley. Ooh, that hurts. Don't feed Phil. Yeah, there's that other group of coaches, right? So DeQuan, you brought up like the Stefanskis and the Matt LaFleurs. There are the Pat Shurmurs, the Gus Bradleys, like that gum chewing, like sort of in shape white guy coach, you know, that like almost middle age. Gary Kubiak, like
John Fox,
Shermer.
Yeah,
Shermer.
yeah. There's that. Yeah, Pat Shermer. There's that tier of coaches there that is just Dennis Erickson was like for a long time the leader of that bunch. You know.
You know what, though? I'm going to point something out. The thing is, people give so much crap to the Belichick disciples, and no one's talking about the Pete Carroll disciples who are absolute flops in the NFL. I mean,
because there aren't as many of them in the NFL.
No, but there's Darrell Bevel, Lane Kiffin, Gus Bradley. I mean, Tom Peter.
Darrell Bevel never was the head coach, though.
That's true.
Who was Dirk Cutter a disciple of?
Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
I was Mike Smith.
Oh, Mike Smith. Dear God.
And he's back in Atlanta.
Don't feed Phil. The curse of Schottenheimer running wild with the Chargers. Yeah, pretty much.
It's fuck you Spanos time.
Alex Moreno, Rams-Giants was an ugly game. Ramsey had 2 daughters with Tate's sister and then started dating a stripper and slammed her a little prior to the game. I can't even side with Ramsey on that one. Not cool. Yeah, fuck. Jalen Ramsey.
If it weren't for certain events that had just occurred, Jalen Ramsey would have been my locale of the week.
Yeah.
He should have been. Well, he would have been if we lost the game. I'm serious.
Well, it's not if you lost the game. It's because a certain coach got fired.
Yeah, that kind of overshadowed it. But still, though, like even as a guy on my own team, I wasn't too thrilled on bringing him to begin with. And honestly, he looks like he's trying to become the AB of cornerbacks. And frankly, like, dude, you have 2 your daughters when you're dating a stripper and you're slamming him in front of her freaking brother. Like, just not cool.
John Borello.
Here we go. The New York Rangers selected Braden Schneider.
Ooh.
Out of, looks like...
Is he a defenseman?
Brandon Wheat Kings. Yep, a defenseman.
I knew they would take defense.
Braden Schneider is a Ranger, rated PG-13.
John Borello, the Dolphins have the final laugh. They have the 2021 Texans first and second pick, and the Texans aren't getting better. Yeah. The Dolphins.
The second round pick is actually to Los Angeles.
Oh.
But they do have their first.
I
checked that earlier.
The Texans are going to finish with 6 wins, so that's going to be like a top 5 pick.
Oh yeah, like I like that trade like a little bit in the beginning. I think it was going to work out for them because it was a very steep price, but Tunsil is a good tackle. But if that's top 10 or maybe top 5, there's another premium offensive tackle available in that draft in the top 5. If they get that, Texans immediately lose that trade.
Yeah.
Braden Schneider is the plunger, rated PG-13.
The Simpsons since 90. Question for Tree. Thoughts on the Sharks raiding the Wild again? Some say the Sharks are fools, and many have said the Sharks fleeced the Wild. P.S. awaiting those Tree Schlosser 2020 merch.
Thing with Ryan Donato is that he's never really been able to piece it together. It's a speculative pick. So a 3rd rounder for a guy who might emerge as a top 6 option. They need all the help they can get, and that's what they're trying to shoot for. Devin Dubnyk, I don't know what the fuck the Sharks are doing.
All
mean, even at 50% retention, like Jesus.
Let me read all of Alex's mouth diarrhea here. I'm glad the Rams won, but Ramsey, what the fuck is your problem? I feel he wants to be the Antonio Brown. He just said that. The Giants were quite pissed off that game. The Cowboys have only ever had a puppet head coach or pissed off veteran head coach who never got along with Jerry. Switzer was just in the right place at the right time with the right team to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, that's Jerry's personality. Parcells and McCarthy are the only two Cowboys coaches with any experience. Almost all the others since Jimmy Johnson have all just been puppets. And yeah, and Parcells was the coach, but he was handcuffed by Jerry being the GM because he wouldn't let him buy the groceries to cook. And that's why it didn't work out. Alex Moreno, this is just my opinion, but I hate Fitzpatrick. He doesn't play to succeed and he doesn't play to tank. He's the most pointless QB in all of football. That's a little harsh. I think Fitz wants to win.
The thing is, like, why is he somehow coming out of a moment like this to start putting up numbers like that, and then all of a sudden you can only afford like 5, maybe 6 games and completely destroy your team?
Fitzception.
Like,
That's the Fitzception curse. Like, he'll have this one great season where you think he can do more. He gets a shitload of money and then immediately implodes.
Right.
That's Fitzception.
Playing just to get that backup role, man. That backup job's easy.
That backup cash. That's Sam Bradford money, baby.
No, but I don't see the point in why he's still here. Like, this guy isn't good enough to be a Pro Bowler, and he's not bad enough to tank for a freaking top 5 pick. Like, why is he even here?
Because he went to Harvard.
Because veteran presence.
Yes.
Like,
I tell you what.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Here's what Fitzpatrick plays for, is to have a monster game in week 3 and come out with some ridiculous drip to the post-game presser. Like, and that's it. Like, he'll rock. Next year, he'll start for some other team and just come out with a wife beater and just be like, fuck y'all.
He'll probably be Detroit's starting quarterback next year.
Someone needs to show him. Someone needs to show him that Herm Edwards rant when he's like, "You play to win the game."
Hello? You don't play to just play it. You play to win the game.
That's one of my favorite press conferences of all time. All right, let's do these. Let's finish up these last.
I just hope we can win a game.
What is going on?
Crazy.
Packers and Falcons. Packers are okay. Here's the question. We all know that the Falcons are in the Jets level of trash. That's
they make a trash. Keep that hardcore in the trash.
Are the Green Bay Packers now a NFC Super Bowl contender?
I'd say Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. As much as I want to say no, I have to concede.
I called them frauds last year. They fixed their issues. They look damn good.
DeQwan, how much does that hurt?
It doesn't hurt at all. Like, in reality, like the interview today of him on Pat's show, of him just saying like a career year for some other quarterbacks is a down year for me. I mean, that's basically
swagger.
How much I hate Aaron Rodgers, because he's 100% accurate. Like, he's probably easily top 5 quarterback of all time. And if he gets another, I would move him up. Like, he's the most skilled quarterback probably aside from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he is mega pissed and ready to kill. And look at
and like people have been shitting on him the last couple years.
How's this for a name? Shakir Muhammadulin.
Who was that? A draftee?
It was a draftee picked by the New Jersey Devils.
Wow. I like seeing the NHL diversify. Nice.
Oh, he's Russian.
No.
Is he like Russia, from like inland Russia or something?
I have no idea. Could be from southern Russia, but like Kazakhstan.
For glory of Kazakhstan.
Yes. Kazakhstan is the best. Uzbekistan.
This is my radio.
Craig
I
Kramer.
must be drafted into NHL or I will be executed.
Craig Kramer. My sister, number 4 prostitute in all Kazakhstan. Trust me. I know.
Rated R.
When my neighbor wants new stereo, he cannot afford.
Craig Kramer, welcome to the NFC East. First to 6 wins, hosts a playoff game. Alex Moreno, best team that was cheated out of a World Series title, 94 Expos. Yeah, I can just stop right there.
Yeah,
2002 A's, 2008 Dodgers, 2017 Dodgers, or 2014 Rangers. 2014 Rangers had it in their hands. The 0-1 Mariners don't count. I'd say the Expos.
It's the Expos. It has to be.
They didn't get a chance. They had Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, I know.
Pedro
That's the
Martinez
biggest blunder.
and Ken Hill and Jeff Facero
Pascual
and Butch
Perez.
Henry.
Larry Walker was on that team.
Larry Walker, Marquise Grissom, Moises Alou, Will
Mhm.
Cordero.
Don't remind me of that
God.
trade.
Cliff
God.
Was
Floyd,
Tim Wallach still
John
around?
Wetland and Mel Rojas. and
John
the bullpen,
Wetland
plus
was
a
on
bunch
that
of other
team.
guys. They were all on fucking fire. Look at
What
their
about the
stats.
2008 Dodgers? The 2008 Dodgers, we had James Lowe.
I don't give a fuck. You
Give a
lost
fuck about the
legitimately.
2008 Dodgers.
We got robbed by the
Fuck the
Phillies in
Dodgers.
5
They
games.
keep fucking joking, and that was the McCourt
No,
era.
we got robbed by the Phillies in 5 games. I still say we could
They
have had that.
still fucking lost. The
right, we
Expos
got a
didn't
show
even get
here.
that shot, and then they blew it up.
2017, we forced a Game 7 against an Astros team that
And
knew
you
every
still
pitch.
And then you
lost.
blew it at fucking home.
All right,
Yeah, but I
enough.
mean, we still forced a Game 7.
Uncultured Barbarian Bears fans woofed a lot last week, even talked about how they hate us, and Packers fans, like the older brother, patted them on the head and told them they were being cute. Yep.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you about being cute the next business I get to close in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Is that an economic jihad?
Would you like to revisit Shopco? And oh wait, that's right, they don't exist anymore.
Oh,
They went through this. They went and read the big book of federal bankruptcy, and they got stuck on Chapter 11, and they needed help from the court to get out of it.
Oh, speaking of which, is Walmart moving out of Chicago still?
Walmart is based in Arkansas, and they're going to be based in Arkansas forever.
No,
Yeah.
I thought they were like moving out,
They're
like
pulling
their
their
stores
stores out?
moving out of Chicago. I thought the mayor was begging to keep them in.
Marquez Riley, never thought I'd see the Marlins or Padres in the NLDS. Well, that's not there yet. Yeah, they're there. I'm sorry, I thought that said NLCS.
Dude.
Also, Matt DiBenedetto got robbed from a win by Hamlin again. Yeah, Hamlin. That whole race was soaked with controversy.
I want the Marlins to win the World Series just so the memes can be kept alive.
Oh my God, yes.
They have never lost a series.
And we
I
can
want
take
it to
credit.
live because it would be peak 2020 if that meme dies and then we all die because that's what the Marlins do. They just win championships out of their fucking ass.
Josh
They just
Beckett has a
stumble out of
career
championships.
postseason run. Yep. Uncultured Barbarian. Packers fans tried to warn Cowboys fans McCarthy is going to kill Skip Bayless with his coaching.
Anyone who follows the
Yes,
Packers
yes.
knew McCarthy.
Please do. I hope to God he does. Please.
Jared Brissell, the Wild pick up Marco Rossi, 120 points in 56 games in the OHL. The Wild got the steal of the draft. We'll see. We'll see. The OHL is not the NHL. The OHL is not the NHL. Sam Nenz, how do I say that? Nenze. 5 points. I get how you're feeling. Health anxiety is a bitch. Just know it gets better. I got over it after a few months of dealing with it. Prayers up. Yeah, I have an appointment on Thursday. I'm powering through this. I've been having a panic attack this whole time, but that's how you hide it. Uncultured Barbarian, sorry to hear about your anxiety attacks. 5 points. I had to deal with them before, and they're not fun. Yeah, they are really not fun. Good luck getting rid of them. I think it's vertigo. I might have vertigo. But again, I should stop Googling. That's the first thing.
Well, vertigo, if you look up and get dizzy, then you have vertigo.
What's the
No,
scariest?
there's so many
diagnosis
different.
you saw yet?
What's that? I couldn't hear
What's
you.
the scariest diagnosis you saw thus far?
High blood, like hypertension or diabetes, like early
You got the
onset.
sugar. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Well, my mom has type 2, but my blood pressure has been elevated like but it's normal. It's just been elevated. And so that's scaring me, but I know the doctor's going to he's going to be like, yeah, that's something to be concerned about, but you're not there again. And like, I keep going through this endless cycle of what the fuck is wrong with me.
Yeah.
It's just,
I've had that happen over the past year too for a different reason. So like, I completely understand that. And the anxiety hits in. And it's like, okay, what the fuck is this? And then you look on Google, it's like, I'm fucked.
Cancer. Right.
Great. Never go.
Actually, the scariest was like renal failure for some reason. Like they're like, you could be having, cancer of your balls. Is usually how they should just point you, like, as soon as you Google any condition, like I have a headache, it should just be ball cancer. Should be the automatic
Go to a doctor.
Right. You're fucking
not
gonna
a
die of
doctor.
ball cancer. Yep.
Like, oh, I'm fatigued. Multiple sclerosis.
Oh God. I love how Google just points out the worst possible outcome.
Yeah. Hurricane
China
JD 1129. I wanted Askarov, but Seth Jarvis is good for the PK and Lord Svechnikov. Keep coming to our games. The Carolina's going to be good for a while. Mm-hmm. Golden Hybrid. Question for Tree. I live in New York and I am a diehard Yankee and Nets fan. But I'd be a Steeler fan for all my life. Or can I be a Yinzer?
I know a lot of people have been talking about this. How can I be a Yinzer? I'm going to put out a step-by-step guide on how to be one of the most fantastic Yinzers in the world. First step, you have to go out and buy an entire lifetime supply of jean shorts. I don't care what type. I don't care what size. You get jean shorts. You get some really high white socks. Get dad shoes. Get the New Balances, the white New Balances, and make sure they're nice and shiny. Or maybe even black New Balances. I don't know how you feel like about color in terms of your shoes. But New Balances are the key there. And then thirdly, get a really tattered Steeler jersey from the 1970s. You got to make sure it's like at least bonus points for Jack Lambert or Jack Ham. We will accept Mean Joe Green. We will accept Mel Blount. Terry Bradshaw, he's a traitor. Fuck him. Franco could work too, but you got to be a little bigger because, Franco, he loves like eating food and being in like charity events. And we're okay with that. Secondly, and then what you have to do, grow a mullet, preferably a shitty one, maybe like a little thin mustache. And then what you're going to do is you're going to invest all of your savings into a beaten up 80s sports car, preferably a Pontiac Firebird, a Trans Am, or a Corvette. You got to make sure one of those, make sure it's got a lot of damage on the wheel, maybe like some rust. That probably needs some engine work, maybe a borderline unstable transmission. But you're going to make sure that you have that, and then you will be a bona fide Yinzer.
Wait, you forgot something.
You have my client.
I thought he has to have an operation to have Iron City beer surgically attached to his right hand.
That's optional. That's the expansion package.
Oh, that's the DLC.
On everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. You can get Yingling on the East Coast, so you can be okay there. Iron City, you can get delivered. Bermanis is across the country now. There's a bunch in Florida.
Our buddy Golden Hybrid's going to be redding up some rooms and insulting jag-offs within a week. All right, Josh Bush, a.k.a. NASCAR driver. Jack Johnson is most likely gone. How much will this improve the Pens, or will Matheson replace Jack Johnson as a terrible, overpaid defenseman?
Probably. Apparently, Mike Matheson's thing is he's really good at puck battles. JR loves that grit. He gets a hard-on for it. He gives away the puck just as often.
Oh, well.
So apparently he's a fucking mess. But as I said, I'm ready for my heart to be fucking crushed.
So you win the puck battle
with trading our first-round pick and a massive overpayment for Kasperi Kapanen. We did it by giving away one of the players I loved in Patrick Hornqvist, even though he couldn't stay on the ice. For the goodness of Mike Matheson, there's 6 years left on his contract. Oh my God. And now we're probably going to trade a shitload for Marc-Andre Fleury for the Fields and or sign a guy like Chris Tanev or Kyle Clifford to a bloated contract. Because this is how Jim Rutherford works nowadays. We are so fucked. By the way, the Yankees are now trailing 5-4. 3-1 home.
They're going to come back and they're going to win. They're going to
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be Yankees Astros in the
Yankees Astros in the absolutely worst ALCS.
Well, what happens is, and then the Yankees fans are going to just shit on the Astros fans, and it's going to be delicious.
Delusional fan bases on Twitter.
No, it's going to be Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series, and then we No, that's fucking horrible. It's going to be insufferable LA fans and fucking John Boy jacking off repeatedly in the background.
Astros,
Jesus Christ.
No. You're going to hear me morph into angry LA fan. You've heard me as angry Rams fan. I'll morph into angry Dodgers blue fan, man.
The only thing that would be more 2020 is the Astros winning the World Series.
No, don't think of that.
Dusty Baker's a joker.
Kirk Hardiman, the Leafs select with Pittsburgh's pick, Rodion Amirov. Rodion Amirov. Goes to Saltwater 1989. Hey, hey. May your pain of having to watch Big Dick Nick continue next week. Ooh.
There's something you need to understand about me. I'm old enough to remember Cade McNown, Craig Krenzel, Jonathan Quinn, Chad Hutchinson, and another casted crew of a bunch of other fuck-offs that are a hell of a lot worse than Tit Bisky and much worse than Big Dick Nick.
Yeah.
So realize that watching this quarterback carousel that we have, or whatever the fuck you call it, there is no pain that can extract from me.
Dead inside already.
Jared Froman, while I think the fail cons are Jets level trash, they don't look terrible against the Packers. They lost because of missed opportunities. No, they're trash.
No, they are trash, but nobody was beating the Packers that day.
Yeah,
that's
true.
why you can't choke 15-point leads in consecutive weeks.
Because
if you didn't, you'd be 2-2. You're in decent position.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're 0-4. You have to play, I think, 4 straight. Against Tampa and New Orleans. You're fucked. Plus, I think you still have Bears. Oh, wait, you already played the Bears. You have the choke bowl against the Lions. You have Minnesota. They're probably looking for blood. And then you have probably another team. I think the Cowboys. You already played the Cowboys. Fuck.
Yeah. Blake Trout, if the Eagles can win against Pittsburgh this week, then my hope will be restored. Seeing Wentz finally start to come out of his shell was nice, but small. Yeah, Wentz is playing. I was surprised that he played bad. Every time I see Wentz, he usually plays well. GN Tree, worst Steelers playoffs loss you've experienced, and please explain the hype behind Permanente sandwiches. I don't think you have to worry about that. Yinzers are confusing. Worst Steelers playoff loss.
Losing to Tebow.
I was about to say, that's got to be embarrassing. Tebow is. did a list on draft.
Dude, Ike Taylor had quite possibly the worst defensive performance of the millennium. He was horrid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, we lost to fucking Tim Tebow.
Should we ask DeQwan what the worst Lions playoff loss is?
They picked up the flag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, against Dallas.
Uh-huh.
There is no pass interference. You didn't. Well, they got karma in being ruled that Bryant's touchdown was not a catch.
That does nothing for me, Tree.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. My worst for the Giants, the worst playoff loss was when they blew that lead to San Francisco, because I saw that train wreck happening, and I was just like, this is terrible. Yankees 512417. Trevor Lawrence is about to ask to stay at Clemson for another year. Oh my gosh, if he dick teases us again like that.
He's going to pull a Matt Barkley.
Why, though? He has nothing left to prove.
That's a good point. I don't know why anyone would want to do it. I don't know why Matt Barkley wanted to do it to begin with.
DeWolfman, Packers 4-0. I'm happy, man. Taking this with a grain of salt. Green Bay needs to improve the run defense, and O-line needs to more depth and new blood. Listen to these champagne
I hate
problems.
Packers fans like that.
Yeah. Listen to these champagne problems.
I hate Packers fans.
Enjoy
4-0, and there's still work to be done.
That's like a rich person. It's like, shall I add another pool house to my backyard? Or right.
So many problems.
Meanwhile, there's like a line of homeless people outside, like all Lions fans. Is like, hey,
it's a dumpster fire in the rest of the division.
Right. Mm-hmm. DDRM STR Pro. As a Jets fan, would you rather have immortal Bill Belichick with Pats for eternity, or immortal Adam Gase for eternity? Ooh. I see where he's going there. I guess neither. I guess Belichick with the Pats. You did beat Belichick 1 year in the playoffs.
Yeah, they got to a conference.
Belichick has weaknesses. He has weaknesses. Mm-hmm. Goes to Saltwater 1989. Crennel was the DC who blew a 24-point lead in 10 minutes. Yeah. He should have been left in Kansas City too.
I thought he would have retired. I thought he was going to retire.
Yeah, Romeo Crennel, old.
He's like 65.
Yeah. Spencer Young, that middle-aged coach type is basically any coordinator in Mike Zimmer's system, including Mike Zimmer. Jared Warren, Paul George is way off P, rated PG-13.
I think we read that wrong.
Pandemic P.
Rated, Alex.
PG-13.
Rated PG-13. Paul George is way off the P. Rated PG-13.
Oh, you wanted to read that in a world where Lions are winning playoff games.
Wait.
Oh my God.
Goldie, do you remember that South Park thing though with the crappy Rob Schneider like trailers? And so it's like Rob Schneider is the stapler. Rated PG-13.
I'm a Family Guy. I'm not a South Park guy.
Aww.
There's
American Dad is American Dad.
Rob Schneider.
It's like you're either a black licorice or red licorice guy. You're either a South Park guy or a Family Guy guy.
I watch them both. I watch them both.
Old Uncultured Barbarian. I think the resurgence of Rogers is because he yeeted NASCAR's blue screen of death out of his life. Yeah.
I agree. That I mentioned that last week. It's like, you know what? He broke up with Danica Patrick. And if you remember, the last couple of years, he's showing signs of decline. It's because he was dating Danica Patrick. And now she's gone, and guess what? He's fucking slinging the ball and fucking bitches left and right.
Yeah. I hear that she is stunning in real life. Like,
yeah, she's probably a bitch, but she's probably smoking hot.
Everyone if your entire value is based on solely how you look, right? You have a very fucked up perspective of the world, don't you think?
Look at the Jenners. That's how the Jenners are famous.
Right. The
Jenners are famous because they had a sex tape, like Paris.
They also had an uncle who busted kept O.J. Simpson out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a dad that's now likes to wear dresses. Uncultured Barbarian.
That's offensive. You can't say that.
Dear Bears fans, is there a Urinating Tree video about the Packers are a low cow? No, there is one about the Bears. Damn, betcha.
I was almost going to do one on the Packers back in like 2017 about how they kept pissing away like free agency, about how their general manager was a lazy piece of shit who was too overconfident in developing from within, about how Mike McCarthy was being carried and Aaron Rodgers was being They
did get rid of McCarthy.
Why would you do that? They were still beating the Bears by 20 points every year. That's why I wouldn't do a locale, because they were beating their rival by big points.
They can beat a rival as much as they want to, but when it comes down to actually winning something that you can actually talk about 6 years later, like most Scotties do, they just constantly choked. It was constantly the defense, or it was Brandon Bostic, or it was, Dom Capers and the prevent you from going to the Super Bowl defense.
Yeah.
It was all those things. And then and that's the thing about Green Bay, and I believe that's where their weakness is going to continue to be, is that someone is going to have to make Aaron Rodgers put up or shut up with a defense that can sustain and an enemy offense that can sustain. And that's going to be somebody like Seattle, or that's going to be somebody like, let's say if Breeze wasn't aging,
Yeah. The Wolfman for 5. Brewers choke out of the wild card. Effing figures. Yeah, Brewers were out.
They weren't choking. Like, dude, they were without Devin Williams and Corbin Burns, two of their best pitchers. They were fucking done.
They were throwing Hader in there in like the 5th inning because they were so desperate for arms. They just
they're done. Their chance was last year and they fucking blew it.
Don't feed Phil.
Okay, go ahead.
I remember when Detroit, Chicago, and Minnesota were all salivating at the mouth, thinking Green Bay was done after 2018. Well, think again, sucker. Yeah, okay. You got rid of Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, we got cocky cheeseheads again. I mean, you got rid of Mike McCarthy. You got rid of your bad GM, and then you actually invested in free agency. Like, oh my God, you're telling me that wisely investing in free agents is going to help the team? Oh my God.
The other thing is they're getting away with not having any receivers. They're just making up for it with Rodgers' ability. And it's just,
they're really
for a while though.
They're really getting cocky over there, but Jordan Love's backing up Rodgers pretty soon, and that's when your franchise goes to shit.
Well, that's what they do. They draft an up-and-coming quarterback and try to put the fucking pissed-off Aaron Rodgers out there. He's like, fuck that shit. I'm fucking show these people who I am. Idiocy 87 title for trees. How to Yinzer book Yinzering for Jagoffs. Yinzering 101 for Jagoffs. Alex Moreno, hi guys. You ever gonna sing Jags Day for us? No, not today.
I'll write a new one someday.
Having
Maybe.
a mild panic attack throughout this entire show.
Yeah.
JH
Okay. That's fine.
Zilla, JGH Zilla. I have multiple sclerosis. Could have been a mini stroke, but it is MS. Yeah, don't scare the living shit out of me. I don't want either of those. But I hope you get better. I hear there's alternative treatments for MS that you can maybe beat it with. But I hope that's not too debilitating. Golden Hybrid 258. Swear to my mother, I passed most of Tree's checklist. Well, congratulations. You're a Yinzer.
You are a Yinzer. Get yourself a tattered Steelers jersey and an 80s sports car that's breaking apart at the seams.
A Fiero, probably.
No,
right.
Trans Am.
Tree, finish it up. Read them all.
Let's go for Steve X Clax. I went to Permane Brothers at the Pittsburgh airport because of you, Tree. I was on a weekend trip in Morgantown, West Virginia. I've never been to that one at the airport. Yeah, I think it just opened up a couple months ago or a year ago. And I haven't been there, so I couldn't tell you. It's probably full of Yinzer stuff or just like a limited menu. Walter Baker for 5. The Sabres are going to suck until Kim Bagula is far away. Well, good luck with that. She's in her 40s, and Terry Bagula ain't selling.
Nope.
DeWolfman for 5. The Falcons are the kings of choking. Change my mind. Well, they do choke.
No
they
one's
choke
trying to convince you otherwise of that.
6 straight games with a double-digit lead.
28-3.
That's all you need to say.
It's a lot more than 28-3. 28-3 is just nice.
That's dead.
That's going back to like 1980. They've been choking for decades. James Amadei for 2. Lucas Reichel, we needed a defenseman. #FireBowman. Oh, with the NHL draft, it's going to take a couple years before they get up to impact.
Yeah, it's like
anyway.
the MLB. Like it's very rare that someone will get drafted and have an impact the next year.
Ooh, Uncultured Barbarians putting the gauntlet down. Hey, Bears fan, I had to sit through Lynn Dickey, Randy Wright, and David Whitehurst, the old early 80s quarterbacks. Jesus Christ. I thank the football gods my team's turned it around and have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row.
Sorry,
Sometimes you
you
just
get no
get lucky.
sympathy from me. You know why you get no sympathy from
Would
me?
you rather have Don Meshkowski?
You get no sympathy from me as a Bears fan because of your nickname, Entitled Town. And that is exactly what you are as fans of the Packers. You are Entitled Town. You are entitled to getting a flag whenever your pass is not cleanly made. How many times do we see a receiver for Green Bay, as soon as they don't make the pass catch, they immediately stand up and wave their arm at the ref for a flag? How many times do we see Aaron Rodgers stand up and look at the ref after getting sacked?
Yep.
How many times do we have to hear from Packers fans regurgitating their past history of all of our titles while they drown themselves in their own cum?
Whoa.
We have to bring Uncultured Barbarian in one so he can dole it out.
Yes. All right. Keep reading.
Yes, sir. I think that's it.
No. There's 3 more. They snuck them
It's
in.
not loading for me.
Oh, Uncultured Barbarian says, one of my friends last night told me that Dana Kilpatrick is the 3rd Bodine, and now I can't unsee it. Okay.
Problem is, there are 3
Jeff?
Bodines: Jeff, Brett, and Todd. So what, is he Todd Bodine with hair?
With hair?
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Kyle Moylan, when is the Seattle expansion draft? Or
next year.
What is it?
Next year.
Oh, so it's not even until next year that they do the expansion? Okay.
Yep.
And
Next year's the
Climate Change
expansion.
Arena. And these last 2, Alex, why don't you read them yourself?
Okay. Alex Moreno says, "Oh wow, the Seattle Storm are bracing for a massive crowd for their victory parade. Honestly, I bet only 2/3 of the people there are just angry people trying to cross the street, wondering what the hell is this trolley full of a bunch of people."
The parade.
They're not even going to have a parade. The parade's probably going to go through Chaz, and their tires are going to get robbed from their cars.
Hey, I love when they play in Climate Change Arena. I feel like AOC and Greta Thunberg have a wet dream. Like, finally, somebody has looked towards a cause or some shit
Jeff
like that.
Bezos put the name.
It's Jeff Bezos, the billionaire who probably uses more carbon emissions than in 1 year than any of us will in several lifetimes.
Pledge. I feel like AOC is like, this is probably the cleanest arena in, like, kind of like she's like, this is probably the cleanest arena in the entire sports world right now. and someone just doesn't tell her that, someone will just tell her like, oh, it's solar powered. They put 3 solar panels on top and should probably believe it.
Oh,
All right,
dude,
read
if you have pitch troughs, you are not the cleanest arena in sports.
All right, Alex said, this is how ESPN reminds me that the WNBA exists. And for the last super chat of the night, Golden Hybrid.
Tree, I'm still waiting for the White Sox video. They need more time, dude. I mean, it's just Rick Renteria. That's all I'd be going on right now.
I don't know if you guys know this. I played for the White Sox.
When?
You did?
I did in T-ball.
Okay. That's a foolish baseball joke.
In 2 more playoffs. Or when they lose to the Twins by 6.5 next year.
I played
That's
for the
what's gonna happen. They'll lose
2003
6.5 and they'll lose in the wild card.
I played for the 2003 Pasadena White Sox.
We got to wrap up.
Yep.
DeQwan.
Yes.
Do you have any final thoughts? Thank you so much for joining us. And
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having us. Thanks for dealing with our bullshit, dude. I'm so sorry.
It's always fun being here. The only thing that I have to say, and the only thing that needs to be said, is fire Bob Quinn and fire Matt Patricia.
I agree.
Yeah.
Faux Patriots doesn't work.
It does not at all.
Tree, you have any
haters guy. I'm sorry. A sports ball will be out tomorrow. I'm about finished up on it. It was a little dry this week just because it was like a lot of failed comebacks. But NHL free agency stream will be this Friday.
Awesome. I'll pop in.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I'll probably die on the inside.
Yes. Jared Froman. I just placed the Titans and the Steelers on the board. They're both in wild card.
Yeah, it's a wild card. You can't tell anything.
I was gonna go ahead.
There,
and tell
actually,
you
I'm gonna make a COVID-19 tier right here.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And then put the Titans in COVID.
Yep. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap up the show.
Wait a minute. Does that mean they got to stay there for 2 weeks?
Yes. Next week they'll be on the COVID-19 tier as well.
You need just a picture of Cam Newton in there too.
Yeah.
Also, Jared Froman said for 2, put Titans and Steelers on the board. We just did, Jared. So
all right,
we're good.
Everyone, check out Dodgers Afterburn. She put a link in the chat.
We're doing Among Us tonight.
Oh, playing us some Among Us.
I think that's pretty sus.
Hey, what about my stream?
Sus. Very sus.
I got
All
my
right,
stream
everybody.
tomorrow.
I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it.